My name is Eleanor Whitford. I am 78 years old and I live in a small coastal town in Devon, England. For many years after my husband passed, I lived with my only daughter, Charlotte, and her husband, Mark. Life wasn't always difficult. In the beginning, Charlotte took such gentle care of me. She bought my medicine, cooked warm meals, and checked on me every evening. I was grateful. I believed I would never feel alone again. I remember the first week after my husband's funeral clearly. Charlotte woke early each morning to make me tea just the way I liked it, strong, with a little milk. She made sure I ate breakfast, and she spent her evenings sitting beside me, asking about my day. In those moments, I felt safe and loved. But as the months passed, things began to change. Charlotte started coming home later and later. At first, I thought she was exhausted from work. She would walk into the house quietly, shoulders drooping, and disappear into her room without saying much. "How was your day, dear?" I would ask. "It was fine, Mum," she'd reply, but her voice carried a stiffness I didn't recognize. Mark began to complain more often. "We can't afford everything, Charlotte," he whispered loudly one night. "The groceries, the bills, your mother's medication, it's too much." Charlotte sighed, rubbing her forehead. "I know, I'm trying." I heard their arguments through the thin kitchen walls. I tried to ignore them, but the words reached me clearly. "You baby her too much," Mark snapped. "She's my mother, Mark. I won't abandon her," Charlotte replied. "I'm not being cruel," Mark insisted. "I'm being practical." I held my blanket tighter and stayed silent. I didn't want to be a burden. As weeks turned into months, Charlotte spoke to me less. When she did, it was usually a quick instruction or a soft complaint. Mark almost never looked me in the eye. I ate most meals alone. My hands would shake when I tried to lift my cup. If I spilled even a drop of tea, Charlotte would let out a long, tired sigh. I would freeze, pretending nothing happened. Some evenings, when I shuffled to the kitchen with my cane, Charlotte walked past me as if I wasn't there. I felt invisible. One night, as I sat in my room pretending to read, I heard them talking in the kitchen. Mark whispered harshly, "We can't keep doing this." Charlotte's voice trembled. "What are you saying?" "One day we'll have to place her somewhere else." "It's too much, Charlotte." My heart sank. A cold fear spread through my body. Could they really send me away? I thought of Charlotte as a little girl, her small hand wrapped around mine. I believed she would protect me. I trusted her completely. But life grew harder. My legs weakened. Some days I needed help standing, and some mornings I couldn't walk to the bathroom without leaning on the walls. One morning, I couldn't rise from my bed at all. Fever burned through my forehead. I whispered for water, but no one came for a long time. When Charlotte finally entered the room, she looked worried but tired, exhausted. She handed me a small sip of water. Mark stood behind her, silent. That night, they argued again. "We can't spend more money on doctors," Mark said sharply. "We'll take her out tomorrow. It's decided." My heart broke quietly inside my chest. I was too weak to call out. The next evening, Charlotte helped me into their car. "Mum, we're going for a little drive. It'll help you feel better," she murmured. I wanted to believe her. We drove beyond the familiar streets, farther than I had been in years. The road grew darker and quieter. Finally, the car stopped. We were in an empty field near the cliffs, the sea wind sharp and cold. Charlotte helped me out of the car. My legs wouldn't move. She placed a thin blanket over me, but didn't meet my eyes. "Charlotte, please," I whispered. She said nothing. The car door shut. The engine growled, and then the sound faded into the distance. I was alone. The night air bit into my skin. I tried to call for help, but my voice was too weak. I lay there, shivering, listening to the wind rush over the grass. Hours passed like shadows moving across the ground. In the early morning, I heard footsteps. A man's voice called out, "Excuse me, are you all right?" I opened my eyes slowly. A tall, kind-faced stranger knelt beside me. He gave me water from his bottle and called emergency services. "It's all right," he said gently. "You're safe now." Soon, paramedics arrived and carried me to the hospital. I stayed there for many days, slowly regaining my strength. The police asked about my family. I told them everything, but I didn't want Charlotte punished. I still loved her. A mother's heart never stops loving. When I finally recovered, they arranged for me to stay at Seabrook Haven, an old-age home overlooking the coast. At first, I was terrified. I thought I would be lonely again, but I wasn't. I met other residents, some knitting, some playing cards, some simply enjoying the sunlight. I made friends, real friends. There was Agnes, who loved humming old folk songs, and Thomas, who told the funniest stories from his days as a sailor. Slowly, I joined their laughter. One afternoon, Agnes grabbed my hand. "Come on, Eleanor, let's sing," she said. I laughed softly. "I haven't sung in years." "Well," she smiled, "then today's the day." And I sang. My voice trembled, but my heart felt warm. I walked through the garden afterward, feeling the sun on my face. For the first time in many years, I felt I belonged. Sometimes I still think of Charlotte. I pray for her happiness, but I no longer wait for her. Here, in this new place, with people who care, I found a different kind of family. My life did not end the night I was abandoned. It began again. Even at 78, I can truly say I am not alone anymore.